So Evergreen Branch Library is actually one of the branches in SJPL system that is actually open 7 days a week. We are open for a total of 52 service hours a week. We're located here in Council District 8 and are supported by Council Member Domingo Candelas. He's a pretty semi-regular fixture here. He holds neighborhood watch meetings and the like all the time. We're equipped with 27 public computers, 2 group study rooms, 1 quiet study room, and this lovely community room you're sitting in right now actually has a capacity of up to 112 people. Our team is comprised of 20 staff members, equaling 11.7 full-time equivalent positions. Now, about our community, you'll see in the population section that a large portion of the community is actually skewed towards working age or older. We have a lot of working families in this area. As far as languages go, English and Vietnamese make up the majority of our languages spoken at home, followed by Spanish. As far as race and ethnicity goes, the lion's share of the population is comprised of Asian, primarily Vietnamese, Chinese of both mainland, Taiwanese, and also Hong Kong extraction, and also Filipino. Following that is our Latinx population and also our biracial population. Diversity here is one of our most proud points. We are also blessed with a lot of great schools in this area. The most notable is the Evergreen the Evergreen Valley College, which is one of the best colleges in Northern California. Now for usage statistics. So I'd like to actually make this point first that we are still in the 24-25 fiscal year. So a lot of the numbers you're seeing here for membership counts, visits, so on and so forth, we're expecting to rise probably to at least meet the previous year's numbers. But one of our biggest wins that we'd like to celebrate is the fact that this branch so far has seen 115,000 checkouts of materials up to this point. Now, you'll see in our collection here that as far as circulating materials goes, the majority of these materials, overwhelmingly, are children's materials. This, again, isn't all that surprising given the fact that a lot of our population is comprised of working families. And also, we have so many schools in the area. For example, Silver Creek High School over here is just down the road. A lot of kids just walk here. Moving on. Computer usage is one of our most popular services. In the last fiscal year alone, we've actually booked 10,000 bookings for computers here. Now, for our programs and services, we're really proud of the fact that we have such a diverse spread of programs covering all of the major programming planks established by SJPL programming. We have digital literacy, coding, cultural enrichment programs. One of the things that I'd like to note as a standout is that this branch has uniquely several bilingual Vietnamese programs. Some of that I will highlight in detail in just a slide or two. Now, our biggest highlight program thus far was the Lunar New Year program that we had just this past February. This particular district, District 8, is uniquely a community hub for both the Vietnamese and East Asian communities here in San Jose. For the Lunar New Year, that community really turned out for this one. We had a music and movement story time. We also had the lion dance performance by Evergreen Wushu. If you're not familiar with Wushu, it's a performance form of Chinese Kung Fu, usually Hong Kong style or something like that. As far as other activities we had a lot of arts and crafts and prizes and giveaways. In terms of attendance, we had more than 200 people show up for this program alone. Now, one of the other standouts, and this is near and dear to my heart, is the Vietnamese bilingual story time. This is something that we hold weekly. This is a story time that features music and movement activities, but also traditional Vietnamese stories, songs, and crafts. Now, some of you may not be familiar with this, but a lot of the Vietnamese population in this city primarily speaks a dialect of Vietnamese, from the southern part of the country. Uniquely, this dialect isn't spoken in Vietnam as much anymore. So this program is really important to us to help preserve our culture and language. Our other highlight program was the Diwali celebration. Diwali is the Hindu festival of light. We held that this past November. We had an arts and crafts program for that, along with a dance performance by the Jayendra Kalakendra Dance School. Also, another great point is that Congressman Jimmy Panetta came to support us, and we really appreciate that. Now, as for volunteers, we have 148 volunteers. I know that sounds like a small army, doesn't it? Our volunteers have logged up to over 2,000 hours of service hours in just this past service year alone. And now, our highlight programs for volunteering include our speech and debate program. That's actually run by members of Evergreen Valley High School speech and debate team. That's an award-winning team. Another thing that I'm really proud of is the Homework Club here. It's a small program, but it's growing. But also one of the things that's really a standout is that we're actually seeing attendance from neurodivergent kids who, really do need that support, and they're getting it. And that makes me really proud as a manager to actually see that. Another thing is that we have our Friends of the Library. They're a small but passionate group. They put on quarterly book sales for us. And in our most recent book sale, they raised over $900 just for our programs. Now, this is a picture of our team. It was during our last Christmas meeting. My predecessor, Margaret Yamazaki, is there as well. This team has shown remarkable resilience and talent. Despite all the changes that they've been dealing with, they've really shown incredible dedication to the work. And honestly, any credit that this branch deserves should all go to them. So a round of applause for them, please. All right. Well, does anyone have any questions?
Now, before we get into questions, let's give it up for our wonderful presenter. Now, let's open up the floor for any public comment.
We do not have any public comment.
All right, the floor is open to commissioners for questions and comment.
I don't know if this is a question or a comment, but I would like all the members of the commission to know about the recent statement for our honorable president, if that's for choice of words, who is threatening to cut the budget, the federal budget for public libraries. And I think you all ought to know about that. And I think you should contact your member of Congress. Tell them what to do with it.
Absolutely.
This man is destroying everything else that this country represents. He's not going to destroy the library.
Other comments or questions regarding libraries and our Evergreen branch? Let's give it up for our presenter one more time.
Once again, my name is Jim Tran. I am the acting senior librarian for Evergreen and Village Square branches. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben. All right, we're going to move on to our next item. Reminder for our commission to the community, that was an informational item, so it does not require any action. So we'll move on to our next item, which is also an informational item. We have the pleasure and honor of hearing about the Somerset Public Library Foundation update.
I'm just here today.
Okay.
Yes, thanks very well.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for inviting us to come and do our annual report to you. There's a number of new commissioners this time around, and so for those of you who've heard most of this before, apologies. For those of you who this is the first time you're hearing about the Library Foundation, I hope it provides some context for what we do. I'm Dawn Coppin. I'm the head of the Library Foundation, and I am joined this evening by your wonderful commissioner and vice chair, Angelica, who is the liaison to the Library Foundation board on behalf so that we have more communication and contact with one another. I also just want to embarrass and point out that my amazing treasurer, Stephanie Barando, is here today. And you will see her a little bit later as well. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who are not aware, the San Jose Public Library Foundation was a separate nonprofit 501c3 that was established to really support the library and has evolved over the last few years to also administer some additional programs on behalf of the city that help create an educated, equitable, and engaged community throughout San Jose. So one of the important things to know is that we are entirely separate from the library as a city department. We have our own board of directors, we have our own retirement plan, and are operating separately. We have been in business for nearly 40 years now, and over that time, the organization's, the type of support that it provides has definitely changed over that time. So with yourself, we are one of 3 legs that support the library and all of the operations and work that it does. So along with the Friends of the Library, we act together and also independently to help ensure that the library has the resources and awareness that it deserves. One of the ways that we do this is the 3 of us, the Commission, the Library Foundation, and the Friends groups, work together to do joint advocacy. We actually have a standing committee, board committee of the foundation that comprises board members, commissioners, and Friends representatives, so that every year we speak with one voice when we go and talk to electeds, mostly city council members, but every once in a while we talk to county supervisors and state electeds and maybe even some federal people now as well. So we are just beginning this. This is really just our 3rd year, I think it's our 3rd year of doing intentional advocacy work. So we are learning every single year what works well, what people respond to, what kind of information the council members are looking for. And I think we're getting a little bit better at it each year that we do it. So last year, you will recall that we advocated successfully to preserve the Sunday hours that may have been on the chopping block. And for the first time ever, help make sure that all the late fines were waived. So one question that we have for you, Angelica.
Will you please advocate with us for this year's budget?
There is plenty of time still left to do that. Now, this is who our board of directors are currently. Again, you've met Stephanie in the room, who also is local, and this was her branch that she grew up as a child coming to, and now brings her own kids to. And then the rest of the board who are, volunteers like yourself who want to come and make sure that the Library Foundation has the resources and connections that it needs for us to be able to support the library in the way that you need. And then this is my team. So like Ben introduced his folks, these are my folks. And so I'm sorry that none of them can be here with us this evening. but they are tirelessly working every single day on a variety of different ways to both help do fundraising, do some awareness, communications, external communication stuff, and run a couple of programs in concert with the library as well. So as you know, the library has a lot of different programs and services and supports people of all ages. The Library Foundation will never be able to support everything that the library wants to do. So what we have done is organize the work into 4 priority areas right now. And so here are 2 of them, because I couldn't fit all 4 and the numbers on one page and still it'd be big enough for you to read. So starting with driving digital empowerment, and last year we raised $725,000 for that initiative. Obviously, lifelong learning is a big component of the work that the libraries do across the city. And you see the over $1.3 million that we secured to support those efforts. Building the workforce is very important, and you've heard about that. Last year, we raised over $2.3 million with that suite of programs. And last but by no means least is the work that the library does to promote diverse arts and culture across the city. And that's coming in at just less than $130,000. We anticipate that one to see more money coming into it in subsequent years. So for those of you who are financially oriented, this is a snapshot of how much we raised last year. The Library Foundation, unlike the library, actually operates on a calendar year. And so we run from January through December, and this is reflective of that. So through all of the various different revenues, individuals, foundations, government, corporate, other mostly means investment returns, we were able to raise just less than $6 million. And we spent just over $6 million. Fortunately, as you can see in the little gray box on the side there, we have sufficient assets that, even though we had technically a deficit for last year, we had significant funding already on hand raised for specific programs. Raising your hands right now. And so we still have over $8 million in net assets going into 2025. It allows you to see the screens.
Yeah.
What this slide also shows is that the vast majority of the money that we spend, the vast majority of the money that we raise and then spend goes towards programs. This shows over time where we are as an organization raising funds for the library. So we are around about $55 million cumulatively, not just last year, unfortunately. So we have a goal of getting to $70 million by the end of 2027, which incidentally will be the Library Foundation's 40th anniversary of being in business. All right, so I know you were thinking to yourselves, how can I get involved in making this work happen too, and all the free time that I have that the commission doesn't have already? So if you are interested in speaking up and joining us as an advocate and or being an ambassador to your own networks or different speaking engagements, we welcome you. There is, unfortunately, the hyperlinks don't really work when it's a screen thing up here, but it's, hopefully you can remember the URL, SJPLF for the initial San Jose Public Library Foundation.org/advocate. If you want to find out ways, get some talking point ideas for what you can say to your council members when you go and speak to them who appointed you to be on this commission, and other ways. We also have a newly launched newsletter, which is specific to advocacy. So it's fun, it's interesting, it's informative. You can also use this handy dandy QR code, which does work on the screen, and sign up for our main newsletter. It comes out monthly, has informational stuff. It also has some curated things around town, some of which the library is doing, some of which are events held by our partners and other related entities around town. And of course, for that person in your life who already has everything that they need, you could honor them with a gift to the Library Foundation in their name. And we will send them acknowledgements and let them know that you were thinking of them when you made a gift. We never include the amount of your gift in the acknowledgement that goes to the recipient. So they just know that you were thinking of them when you gave in support of the libraries. We are on so many different social media channels, which I don't use, but my staff tells me we have a growing following. And please do check it out if you are on any of these platforms. If you are, please do follow us and repost and share this out. The more you can help us expand the number of people who know what's going on, the more people who are aware and can support the library itself. And then finally, you can always find out more ways to support the Library Foundation by going to sjplf.org, ways to give. And the 4 seals at the top are proof positive that other entities have taken a look at how we run our business and how we manage our finances and say that we do a good job. And so if we get these kind of accolades, hopefully you too will also think that we are doing a good job. And we're proud to be working with you in support of our library. So thank you for your attention.
And before we open up, any questions or comments from the commission, any public comment?
We have none.
All right, floor is open for commissioners for questions and comments. Commissioner Brown.
Yeah.
It's for the audio.
I just want to appreciate all that you've been doing to raise attention and to raise funds, because it's certainly we are all benefiting from it, just as residents of San Jose. And I wanted, you know, I had I'm on the president of a different foundation, and we did an event at the library, and it was very nice for Dawn to come and talk about the foundation. So if you find an opportunity where you're going to do a large event, please consider our libraries, because it is another revenue that they could receive funds. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, two things on my end. The content, social media content, phenomenal reels, I share them all the time. Follow them. And then Dawn, for your leadership, I remember I think last year there was a presentation too that showed, I think it might have been you too, just just the amount of money that's been fundraised over time, and there's a big chunk of time where there wasn't too much movement. And we could see with your leadership how much the foundation has taken on, including more programming, more support, and to Commissioner Brown's point, serving our city in ways that couldn't even imagine, I would say 20, 30 years ago, even 10 years ago, right? So thank you for your leadership. Any other comments? All right, thank you. Let's give it up for one more time. Reminder that was an informational item. It also does not require any action. We will move on to our next item, which is our summer programming and learning update, another informational item.
My name is Vidya Kinambi, and I'm the division manager of education and learning pathways. To get with me today is Paul Wilson, who's the branch manager of the Wyman and Allen Branch libraries, and also the lead for our reading programs, for the implementation and development of our reading programs. And together we will present an update on the summer programs in 2024. Summer learning is essential for building achievement, for bridging achievement gaps and ensuring student success. Currently in Santa Clara County, only 55% of third graders read at grade level, with even lower percentages among students of color, students with disabilities, and low-income students. Similar disparities exist in eighth grade math.
Excuse me, can you turn your mic up a little bit, please? Thank you.
Sorry. Similar disparities exist in eighth grade math scores, highlighting the need for additional academic support. These statistics make it clear that many of our students need extra opportunities to learn and grow. Summer learning programs provide critical support to help students stay on track, build confidence, and prevent learning loss.
So one of our goals for summer reading programs is to have fun. So this year we decided to refresh our look a little bit. So we have a new logo, as you see there on your left-hand side. It's got instead of more STEM feature that we've had in years past, we went with more of a fun summer look with the sun and the rays and the book that looks like ocean waves there. So we will be debuting that when pre-registration for the program kicks off in the beginning of May. We also introduced a different kind of reading log this year that will double as sort of a brochure / flyer. Reading log will offer kids a chance to track their reading manually and have a little fun with that. And also on the flip side, will offer information about library programs as well as ways to get a library card and information about the graphic novel making contest, a message from Jill, and a few other fun items that include web links, QR codes to the website, and Beanstack content aggregator and more. So stay tuned for that. That'll be available toward the end of May when the program gets started at the beginning of the summer. I mentioned earlier that pre-registration is a period starts in May, where we allow folks to sign up a little early and gives our staff a chance to promote the program for a full month before it kicks off in June. Program runs June 1st to July 31st, usually about 8 to 9 weeks every year. Runs on follows the 4 quality principles you see there on the far left: building strong communities, promoting learning opportunities, celebrating reading and literacy, and engaging and reaching as many people in the community as possible. Program is open to all ages, with or without a library card, even though we always encourage people to get their library card. Is not mandatory for this program. Sign up based on 5 reading groups that are based on age. You log your reading via our online portal Beanstack, as well as the paper logs I just showed you, which are optional, but just a fun way to increase participation. The goal for every summer reading program is to read and log either 8 books or 8 hours worth of reading. When you sign up, you're given a choice.
Yeah, I spent 10 years before COVID killed off the program in a program called Reading Partners, which was literacy for 1st through 3rd graders.
Right.
And as they say, COVID made it go away. This is very interesting. Where will this take place?
It'll take place citywide. It'll be offered at all of our locations and
All the libraries?
All the libraries, including King, our KPRR, and our youth services and Teen HQ. There will be new signage and everything at all the locations citywide, starting end of May, early June. So, and the website will be published promoting this program at the beginning of May as well. So we just to finish up real quick, we offer not only grand prizes, we offer 1 grand prize per age group for each branch. So it's over 120 grand prizes awarded citywide, but people also get prizes for signing up. So we offer incentives for kids. They get 2 free books. plus entries into Beanstack. Adults get some fun giveaways of their own, and the grand prizes are weighted, so the more you read, the better odds you have of winning a grand prize. So every 8 hours or every book, 8 books you log, increases your odds of winning. And then come May 1st, we start promoting the program citywide, be it at with our PRNS partners, schools and education sites, daycare centers, other community partners, and our special fridge libraries that we partner with across the east side of the city. Summer reading also includes summer lunch outreach. It's called Lunch at the Library, and we receive a grant from the California State Library to help run it. It consists of these 15 branches here that work with summer meal sites across the city, usually local schools, as well as PRNS summer camps, as well as occasional YMCA centers and other sites that offer lunches to the public, usually mid-June to the end of July. Staff at these locations will make half a dozen visits to different sites in their service area and promote the library, promote summer learning, also put together story times and arts and crafts events that they can host at these sites for about a 30 to 60-minute window that they put on. The money from the state library funds supplies for the craft programs, as well as allows us to purchase additional books that we can give away at these outreach events. Last year, we gave away over 5,000 books just through the summer lunch outreach program alone. And it accounted for a lot of signups in the program itself. So. Right, and not only does our summer reading programs this summer incorporate the library sites, but we also work with early education through their summer learning for early education sites, which is exclusively preschools and daycare centers. They run a program for 3 months, a little bit longer than the typical summer learning, but it works to enhance literacy and educational experiences for kids at these centers and helps the older ones get ready for kindergarten, first grade, that sort of thing. This year, they are expanding the program to celebrate our 1,000 books before kindergarten program, which is a opportunity for toddlers and young children under the age of 5 to track their reading and get to 1,000 books before they enroll in kindergarten, as clearly the name states, but to celebrate that program, starting next month, for each month at several locations in the libraries in the city, we'll have a few celebrations promoting it. Celebrations include dance parties, story times, special appearances by fun book characters, and so on. So that is another way that we are boosting our reading this summer.
We have a large number of programs happening at all our 25 locations this summer, which include STEM, coding, arts and crafts programs. I would like to highlight the Bay Area Tutoring Associate Program, which is offering a 6-week-long summer reading intensive at 2 of our branch locations, Biblioteca and Saventries. This program provides structured reading support to help students maintain and develop literacy skills through engaging small group activities. And priority for registration to these 2 programs will be given to students who live in the surrounding neighborhoods. As part of our library system-wide STEM initiative, libraries throughout our system will host STEM programs for early elementary school students at all locations this spring and summer. These interactive programs will explore 4 engaging STEM topics, providing hands-on learning opportunities for young learners. Our Teenage Cube is very excited to announce our partnership with We Thrive. We Thrive is a nonprofit apprenticeship program specifically for youth that focuses on under-resourced communities to help them start their own ventures, earn real revenues, and gain mentorship. Teens can receive up to $50 in seed money for supplies, and TeenHQ will be hosting a summer-long camp, and registration for the camp started on April 1st. This summer, as in previous years, the library will be hosting SG Works interns at all our sites. This is a collaborative program with Work to Future and PRNS, formerly the Mayor's Bank Prevention Task Force. These program interns take on the role of library service volunteers and perform duties similar to that of a library aide. Or if you are interested, SG Works is looking to grow a network of mentors who would be matched with youth and help them navigate early steps in their career development and exploration journey. If you are interested in participating in the mentorship program, you can connect with me or sign up to be a mentor on the SG Works webpage by clicking on the Get Involved button. This summer, the library will present a series of digital discovery workshops, which will provide participants with hands-on experiences in coding, robotics, app development, and other exciting technology topics. These workshops will be available at all our branches, ensuring accessibility for participants across the city. Additionally, select branches will host full-day sessions led by credentialed teachers. These locations are tentative as of now, but hoping to finalize them soon, which include Alum Rock and Blue, Educational Park, Joyce Ellington, East Branch, Biblioteca, Seven Trees, and Tully. These full-day workshops will run from June 9th through August 1st. A total of 16 digital discovery full-day workshops will be conducted over the course of the summer. And by the end of the program, approximately 320 students will have taken part in this immersive digital learning opportunity.
Last but not least, our annual graphic novel making contest is another part of our summer learning programming. Run in conjunction with summer learning, June 1st to July 31st. And it's an opportunity for our local young artists and comic book creators to show their skills and have a chance to win prizes and get recognition. We branches throughout the summer sign up and offer workshops and skill building programs that help participants learn the art of comic creation and kind of grow in their story time. So some of the programs include artistry as well as storytelling, or a little bit of both. Entries are collected all summer long, and they are published online and in a print catalog that each branch gets a few copies of. At the end of the summer, entries are judged based on a rubric that is used by a team of library professionals and local comic book industry professionals that come together and they judge the entries in all 5 age categories. Those entries are ranked, and then at the award ceremony that we hold every September, not only are all the contest entries celebrated, but the winners are named and given their prizes. This graphic you see here called Duct Tape is an entry from last year from one of our young preteen artists, Adrielle Walter. One of the winning entries in the preteen category, which is 10 to 12-year-old. So it's usually the entries are up to 8 pages, and they can be a lot of them are different subjects, any subject they want, but this is an example of one of the winning entries from last year. So, and as I was saying, a lot of the entries and all of the winners are included in a publication that we put out each August that lists the contest entries for each year. Each branch should have booklets going back at least 5 years or so. We kind of keep a good haul of these back. So that is it for all of our summer learning programming. Anyone have any questions?
Let's give it up for our presenter. Before we open it up to our commission, do we have any public comment?
We do not.
Right, questions and comments from commissioners?
Want to speak in support of the summer learning programming. I work at a middle school, and the feedback that I've gotten from students and from parents and families who have participated in these programs has been phenomenal. It really gives students an opportunity to discover interests outside of the traditional classroom. And even to encourage the talents that they already have, that they're able to expand. So I just think it's awesome.
Very welcome. Thank you.
I want to add too, unexpected. When I was teaching kinder before my students left, I would give families research on the summer slide. So that they could understand the impact that would have when kids did not have the opportunity to read over the summer. And we celebrated a lot of growth at the end of the year, but I would tell them, if we're not consistent or not reading, taking that time over the summer, we are going to see some of that growth potentially go away unless we're continuing to refine that reading skill that takes time. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being intentional and providing different opportunities for students to read. And also, I just want to say thank you for the food options that we're providing for families. I had students, I had family members where the summer is difficult because there isn't that guaranteed meal or meals that come from schools. Thankfully in California, we provide that for folks, but I want to say thank you for that because that is a lifeline for many folks in our community as times get more challenging. And that it's not just food, right? That there's an activity there for folks to learn together, to be together and have the nurture. Floor's open.
I get asked often because I have several friends whose kids did not get into coding classes that they're hoping to get into through the library. Are we growing that program to meet the demand a little bit?
So last year we had about half, like about 8 to 10 last year. So this year we have 16. So hopefully everybody who wants to get in will be able to get in.
Maybe so happy. Thank you.
Other questions? Other questions or comments from the commission? Sorry, I'm scaring you all over there. Making sure y'all are awake. All right, let's give it up for our presenters one more time. Reminder, folks, that is an informational item, so it does not require any action. We'll move on to our last item under V, which is our information item on our library budget update.
Welcome into the Cabana, who is our administrative officer.
Great. Everyone can hear me okay? Okay, perfect. Good evening, commissioners. So today I'll be giving a presentation on where we are in the budget process and early indicators of what we anticipate will be included in the proposed budget release. And then just to guide our discussion today, I'll recap the city manager's budget direction. And then I'll jump into what we are operating in capital budget proposals. And then I'll just end with a little recap of our budget process timeline and how you all and the public can continue to advocate and support library service. So when we presented the budget update in January, the citywide general fund shortfall was forecasted to be 60 million in 2025-26 and 30 million in 26-27. When the presentation was posted, it was about 46 million, and we now know that the 25-26 shortfall is about 35 million. And then in FY 26-27, we anticipate a shortfall of 53 million. So the city continues to refine the forecast as we get new information. But as part of our department's budget development direction, we were instructed to create and develop potential reduction scenarios and implement budget balancing strategies such as applying ongoing reductions, eliminations, restructuring to lower priority services and programs, identifying alternative delivery methods or other sources of funding, preserving limited resources to support city council through focus areas and critical city service area services and programs, and then also reallocating resources to continue one-time funded services and programs. We also are under the understanding that there's gonna be limited consideration for priority urgent new investment. And then this year, we also utilize a 2-year planning approach to address the anticipated shortfall also in 26-27. Also unique, or for this year, current fiscal year, we've implemented cost control measures such as the hiring freeze citywide and also limiting employee travel. But as we developed our budget proposals, we grounded our engagement process in our strategic priorities. So we had staff, and if you recall, the commission complete the prioritization exercise where you rank the services within each of our strategic priority areas across community learning, assets and infrastructure, trust and belonging, right to library and workplace culture. And then in December and January, we actually engaged our staff through a budget town hall where we created an opportunity for staff to submit their ideas and proposals for reduction or consider operational efficiencies. And then in February, we brought together the commission to move forward the commission's budget position message, which highlighted no reduction to library hours, sustaining digital equity and technology access, strengthening our workforce development and career pathways, maintaining library infrastructure and public safety, expanding library or access to library services and collections, and then continuing to present libraries as a community hub for learning and engagement. So looking toward our operating budget proposal, we anticipate the following items to be included. The first is a decrease to our San Jose State and City of San Jose operating agreement for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Library by $500,000 to align with actual costs. Next, we have a decrease to our library security contractual services, which also are decreasing it by $90,000, which also aligns with actual costs. And for both of these items, we anticipate minimal impact to services. The next item is we have a reallocation of position funding for our college and career pathways to the San Jose Public Library Foundation for 2 fiscal years. And then one actual addition we have is one-time investment of about $500,000 in our general fund to increase funding for materials acquisitions, which is coming from prior year savings. And so we anticipate additional funding for acquisitions in addition to our current resources this year, but again, we'll continue to advocate for more. And then on our library, in our library capital budget, we're looking to maintain funding for our Building Forward Library Grant Match to support infrastructure improvements at library branches. So this includes everything from roof and building repairs to boilers, HVAC systems, and things like that, as well as we're looking to allocate funding from our library parcel tax to fund automation projects, which improve information access, anything that kind of touches our catalogs or reference resources or installation and maintenance of technology, and also our facilities management. So as we're in mid-April, yes, mid-April, we're currently anticipating the release of the city manager's proposed operating capital budgets. The capital budget will come first towards the end of April, and beginning of May, we'll have the operating budget. From there, there'll be a whole host of budget study sessions by city service areas. And so we're under the neighborhood services city service area. And then there'll be separate ones for the capital budget as well as fees and charges, in addition to the regular public hearings at city council. So these are all opportunities for you all and the public to share their feedback on the city's budget. And then in June, we anticipate the mayor will release his mayor's budget message. And then the proposed budget will be finalized and adopted by mid-June. So all of the study sessions, public hearings are all available actually on the city's website. And then the QR code here will direct, sorry, it's kind of cut off on the other side, but it'll direct to the FY 25-26 budget documents once those become available. And that actually concludes my presentation today, and we are available for questions.
Student representative. Paul, do we have any public comment?
We do not.
All right, floor is open for commissioners for questions and comments.
Thank you so much for your presentation. It's very helpful. We have been very busy meeting with the council members as a commission, as well as of the Library Foundation. So we're pleased. I don't speak on behalf of anyone, but I'm happy to see that it's very minimal cuts because there's nothing left to cut. But so let's just keep it. I think letters to the editor are amazing. And as Commissioner Roney was saying, we should now focus our attention to the Congress members and see what we can do so that there's still support that comes to the local level by the state library. So congrats and thank you. I hope this holds. So housing bakers, pay attention, everyone.
Other questions or comments? Let's give it up for our presenter. Thank you so much. Folks, that was an informational item, so it does not require any action. We'll move on to our next item, which is our council liaison. First announcements, welcome.
Thank you so much. I don't know so much announcements, but I know you want me to talk about the budget, right? So I think Fiona covered what I wanted to cover, which is there's going to be ample opportunity to participate. And so our budget study sessions are going to be from May 7th to the 15th. And they're going to be sort of back to back to back, and a lot of information is covered, but it is important. It is important to let your voices heard. And thank you to the Evergreen staff. You know, I noticed that Jimmy Panetta was on there. I think Angelica is correct. You know, they pay attention and they know. So the message needs to not just be for us, but also broader, because I think that I think we continue to refine the forecast and it's looking better. And I think a lot was done earlier so that we were able to not see, you know, sort of a larger deficit be created. And a lot of good cost control measures have been put in place, but there's also a lot of uncertainty. And of course, at the federal level, many of the grants that had already been executed, signed, you go to the portal and the money's not there. So I think that we shall see how that moves forward or not or what, but tremendous amount of uncertainty all over in every department. So I think that we proceed with caution. We are optimistic because I think that everyone has done a really good job, but it's tentative. So May 13th is our initial public hearing for the budget. And as was mentioned by Fiona, June 10th, the mayor's June budget message comes out and the city council will consider, and in June sometime, we will the budget. So stay tuned. And, you know, so excited to see all of the summer learning and all of the programs that it's done. This morning, we had a schools and city collaborative meeting with Santa Clara County superintendents. And we're trying to generate a closer relationship in terms of looking at opportunities to tailor content to better serve school districts and our students. And they're looking forward to it. They really want to engage. And so I look forward to working with Jill and the staff to be able to do a lot more together. Because I think that given that our resources are limited, we're going to have to leverage them. So thank you so much. Thank you for all you do.
And thank you, council members, for being here. I know I can speak from my early days of the commission. It was hard to even get staff from folks to be here. So thank you for taking the time and providing us updates. I'll go on to chair's announcements. What I was gonna talk about was echoed multiple times around just our advocacy work. Whether it's through our city council members, whether it's our congressional members, state leaders. I joked about the social media thing, but that does matter. Every post that we do, every conversation we have, every message we send reminds folks the importance of our libraries, because we know, I've said this multiple times, libraries are not just books, it's not just computers, we are community hubs, we're places for future businesses. Speaking of taxes, yesterday, places for tax opportunities for folks and help too. So keep reaching out to folks. Budget's looking better in our city, but things can change, things can update. And so it's our job to make sure we're speaking to our electeds, and yeah, let's keep up the momentum, y'all. All I have. Any questions for me, comments? All right, library director's announcements.
Yeah, okay, sorry about that. So we have a lot of great celebrations going on right now. We are celebrating National Volunteer Week, which is next week, April 20th to 26th. In 2024, more than 1,500 library volunteers, including all of yourselves, dedicated more than 48,000 hours of services to our library. That's an incredible amount of engagement, leading classes, hosting programs, and maintaining our welcoming and vibrant spaces all over our locations. So this year we're honoring their outstanding contributions in a bunch of different ways. There'll be both system-wide celebrations as well as location-specific celebrations at the branch locations. Of course, to learn more, you can always look at our website, sjpl.org/volunteers. I'm excited about an event that we recently had on a weirdly rainy day on March 28th. The library alongside our mayor, Matt Mahan. We also had District 3 interim council member Carl Salas, District 7 council member Bien Don, and also our Santa Clara County Supervisor Betty Young. Proudly announced the unveiling of our new tech hubs, which are the physical spaces powered by SJ Access. And we had a press conference at the SourceWise Tech Hub, which is located at the Roosevelt Community Center. These are spaces that will provide access to on-site tech devices, internet, and digital skills training, all for free and with personalized service from bilingual staff. So each tech hub is open at least 20 hours per week and is expected to serve about 3,500 residents annually. They are operated at 6 community-based partner organizations: Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County, International Children's Assistant Network, or ICANN, the International Rescue Committee, or IRC, Sacred Heart Community Services, SourceWise, and the Vietnamese Voluntary Foundation, or VIVO. There was a press announcement that was covered by NBC Bay Area and Univision Spanish News, and also we were graced with Commissioners McCrary and Mendoza helped us celebrate the event. So to learn more about tech hubs, please visit sjpl.org/SJ. So much fun stuff happening. Last Tuesday, some of you know, the City Council presented a proclamation for National Library Week. It was also National Library Workers Day. So I want to thank our council liaison, Councilmember Kamei, and also Commissioners Ronnie Brown. And I think Mendoza, you were also there again. For joining us along with a huge amount of staff. It was a really a wonderful celebration for the library. And we also are launching a new educator card. So we've created, Educator of the Year Award. We already have an educator card. The San Jose Educator of the Year Award will honor local educators during Teacher Appreciation Week on May 5th through 9th of this year. The library is inviting students, parents, colleagues, and community members to nominate an outstanding TK to 12th grade educator now through April 18th. So if you know any of those folks, which I know you all do, please spread the word. The information is on our website. So far, we actually have nearly 100 nominations, and I understand that the staff reading them are having a really hard time getting through them without choking up. or a tear being shed. So, we announced it on March 24th. We already have that many nominations. So please do go to the website or refer your friends, and, we will bring back more information about that award. And then finally, just for anyone who has young kids or grandkids or kids at heart, we have 2 great events coming up. This Saturday, April 19th, 2:30 to 3:30 at King Library Children's Room, we have the Grammy-winning duo Uno, Dos, Tres, Andres, which is one of my favorite bands ever. And when I first ever heard of them, I was like, 1, 2, 3, Andres, what is it? Then I realized I'm in San Jose, yeah. They're incredible. They're singers, songwriters, dancers. It's an interactive musical performance for families with young children. I still have a video of my daughter dancing with them. And on April 26th, from 10:30 to 11:30 in the King Library Children's Room, we have stories, music, paletas, is that right? With Lucky Diaz, also an incredible author and musician, author of Paletero Man. Enjoy delicious popsicles on us from Paleta Planet and receive a complimentary copy of his book while supplies last. This event was made possible by our wonderful San Jose Public Library Foundation. And then I thought if it's useful, I would just provide a little bit of context about sort of taking it down to something less fun. The current concern about the federal grants to the state library and the impact to our library. So I think our story right now really emphasizes the incredible importance of local funding for libraries. And we are so fortunate to be mostly locally funded. So in San Jose, we have been continuing to work with the state library to understand if there are any future impacts to any of our programs. But currently, we actually receive very minimal funds that are from state grants that come from federal funds. We do have other state funds that we do receive, but they are not from federal funds. So we are not currently anticipating a lot of impacts from the current actions that are happening as a result of the elimination of federal funds to the states. But it's going to be a changing landscape like it has been. We'll continue to watch and keep you informed. And I'm happy to answer any questions about that. The only other thing about our budget, and Fiona did mention it, but it's also something that we're working on. It is important to note that while we are so pleased that we currently are not anticipating staffing reductions or reductions in services, our collection budget is currently not fully funded in the current allocation. And that is really, there's some technical pieces about how the collection budget is actually funded out of our capital funds. And the capital funds are allocated in a different way. We are working very closely with the city manager's budget office to ensure that we do not have to reduce our collection purchasing. And I think you all know that, and we've been doing a lot of work to really sort of educate us all about the fact that our collection budget actually needs to be increasing to keep up with inflation and increased demand. We finally have higher demand than we did pre-pandemic. So we have to really invest more in that area. And we're making that very clear. But currently it is not fully funded. So that's something that we are going to be working on. So any questions from me?
Questions or comments?
For the music? Yes.
I'll send it out to the.
Yeah, we'll send it out, but it is this Saturday, 2:30 to 3:30, the 19th. And then the following Saturday, 10:30 is Lucky Diaz, who's amazing.
Shelley, can you speak a little bit to some of the, I mean, I remember in past meetings, I would like the newer commissioners to hear about how the thing with collections is it used to be, you'd get this nice lower rate for books, but now that more and more people are looking for the digital access to stories, but that's a different entity and how that is a different cost, we are not really getting much savings on that, and that's another reason why we really need that budget to be ramping up.
Yeah, thank you for the question about the sort of the print book versus the ebook world and the e-audiobook world. So that's a really sort of, I don't know, quickly changing, but always changing landscape. But when ebooks were first introduced, the costing models for libraries were very different than costing models for print books. There's a lot of concern in the publishing industry about releasing digital copies to libraries because of concerns about sort of, things being pirated, losing, and essentially losing their market. And so, I believe, I've heard from folks that back in the day with libraries, that was the same with print books. So we really had to sort of work closely with publishers to create a relationship that proves that it is worth their working with libraries in order to, because readers will still buy copies of ebooks, right? Readers don't. There's a lot of studies that show that. However, the landscape's changing a lot. And the purchasing models are super varied. So we have all these different things that our staff or arrangements that our staff have to navigate. And in many cases, the ebook can cost up to 100 times more than the book in some cases. It can cost, but often 10 times more. And we have a lot of demand for ebooks. As the ebook demand has increased, our spending has never changed actually in all these years as ebooks have increased. So we do a presentation, I believe, in fall or spring. Yeah, it's in February. So every year we do kind of a detailed review of all these different issues around ebooks. And there's a lot of work being done in the library world to try to negotiate both regional and national models with publishers in order to bring those costs down. But in general, yes, it's more expensive. They're very complicated. There's lots of different platforms. And I would say that it's gotten better, but the demand is much greater. And so it's a bigger draw on our budget overall. So that's one of the reasons why we really, we want our collection budget to be moving up every year, not just with inflation. Because it is really core to what we do. You heard about all our amazing programs today. They're so important. Our collections are just as important. And so we're going to keep advocating for that. And again, just problem solving with our budget office because it was an unintentional sort of effect of the limited capital funds that came in this year. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, we'll move on to our next item, which is announcements and meetings attended by commissioners as commissioners. San Jose Public Library Foundation Board.
First, thank you to Dawn for her excellent presentation, annual report. It's very exciting to see all the work that is happening with the foundation. I wanted to actually highlight, I think we have our advocacy committee coming up next week. So if there's anything that anyone wants us to bring up, we're happy to discuss that, put it on the agenda. And of course, I'll report back. And I wanted to also thank the Commissioner Banks and the subcommittee because of all the work that they did for our budget. It's like you see the hard work that has happened earlier this year, and it's everyone just pitched in to make sure that we weren't doing a lot of reductions. I really thought that there was gonna be a lot, and so I was really nervous. So thank you for your leadership on the subcommittee. Library Giving Day was on April 1st. It wasn't a joke. But it's still underway, with I think 10,000 to reach the goal. But they have new donors, which has exceeded the goal, right? Okay, congrats to that, but hey, we still want more money. Always be asking. some of the Library Foundation board members and staff delivered gift boxes to the secret snacks of library workers in appreciation of all San Jose Public Library staff last week. And then the next San Jose Public the Library Foundation meeting is May 16th. And so very exciting. So, I think that's it. Yep.
Any questions or comments? All right, we'll move on to our next item, which is information and upcoming opportunities for commission participation. As a reminder, you can go to sjpl.org and check out the program calendar there. Are there any items for future commission meeting agendas from our commission? Seeing none, as a reminder for folks, our next meeting will take place on May 21st, 7 p.m. at MLK. So again, we will be at MLK on May 21st. Third floor. With that being said, I'd like to adjourn this meeting at 8:18 p.m. Drive safe, you all. Thank you for your service and reach out to your elected officials.